We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. The time, excuse me, is 4:02. This is the April 8th, 2026 meeting of the Texas City Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors. We'll begin with the posted agenda. Our first item is the declaration of a quorum. We do have a quorum, all members present. We'll begin next with a roll call. Mark Chevalier, member.
Randy Deedle, member.
Dedrick Johnson, member. Phil Roberts, member. Brendan Brooks, member.
Thank you very much. We also have staff present. Next agenda item is conflict of interest declarations. Do we have any conflict of interest to declare for the record? Sensing none, without objection, we'll move to public comments now. Are there any members of the public that wish to make a comment? Sensing none, we'll move to consideration of the approval of the March 25th, 2026 meeting minutes. Those have been previously disseminated, I believe. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the March 25th meeting? Sensing none, the chair would entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the March 25th, 2026 meeting. Is there further discussion? All in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 6A, new business. Discussion of possible action on resolution number 2026-11, approval of the allocation for renewal of a U.S. Army Corps of Engineer permit for Shoal Point development. I'll turn it over to our esteemed executive director.
Not an executive director yet, still just a plain old director, but I'll take it. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, board members. So this item relates to the renewal of our Corps permit extending a roadway from 197 out to Shoal Point. Since the early 2000s, the city has held a permit with the Corps for the development of a roadway connecting those two locations, where the city owns approximately 325 acres of property. The permit also allows for the development of a major industrial project on said property. As the current permit will expire in December of this year, staff has contracted with a company called HGR to complete the renewal process for that permit, basically to ensure that it can stay standing and that the potential projects for Shoal Point can utilize it in their plans. The EDC staff is also working with Colliers Engineering, Texas New Mexico Power, and the two potential projects on Shoal Point to ensure the permit process provides all information necessary for that renewal. One mandatory element of the permit renewal, which was developed by HDR on behalf of TNMP, is related to our Section 408 permit and provides engineering support and scheduling to be conducted by HDR. This effort will create a project-specific design criteria to connect an existing TNMP substation, the Cherokee substation, to a new substation on Shoal Point via a 138 kV transmission line. In detail, this work to be done by HDR would result in 3 deliverables to be received by July 31st, including a detailed project schedule for use in project management and tracking the 408 permitting deliverables, a 30% CAD model, which include industry-specific specifications for overhead power line design, and design documentation detailing estimated foundation designs, estimated subsurface impacts, proposed structure framing types, structure locations, plan and profiles, and route mapping, all to be used for the Section 408 permit. So following discussion with HDR and TNMP, the EDC will be responsible for payment of this effort as it does contribute directly to our ongoing permit, with a total cost of $147,402. To emphasize, this portion of work toward the complete renewal of the City of Texas City Corps permit is a necessary element. Since the permit has been renewed in the past, this and other new reporting must be done for the Corps to approve the permit. And funds are available in our professional services line in the EDC budget. As mentioned previously, we may come back to this group to seek a budget amendment for that line, depending on where Colliers ends up in their contract, but that is to be determined and not something we're asking for today.
So when you say the funds are available, the funds to what extent?
Right now, we have approximately $550,000 remaining in the professional services line. We're asking your permission today to allocate $147,402 to this purpose.
Is that for 30% completion of drawings and specs?
It's a 30% CAD model, yes, sir.
Okay, so there'll be more to come.
Yes, there would be.
And that's by July 31st?
Yes, sir.
Did they have an end date they expected?
So all of this is being done to help us meet our core permit deadline by December. So these deliverables should be in hand by July 31st, meaning TNMP could continue their work from there.
Well, I think it's a great direction forward to get this done. That's been a stumbling block for developing the Shoal Point, or Snake Island, as they used to call it, for 20-something years. So,
Indeed, yeah, that's always been sort of a,
yeah.
bad pun intended, roadblock. The transportation issue, road transportation issue has always been a huge hindrance to moving forward with anything really substantive. So this could be the next step in another major development.
And Texas, New Mexico is pretty well on board with this.
Very much so. So they are going to be installing the utility infrastructure for the LNG project that's slated to be out there. That's a $350 million project by the time all is said and done. And this work will benefit LNG regardless of whether or not we get the other project on Shoal Point. This is necessary for the one that's close to FID.
Good. You need a motion?
Chair would entertain a motion.
I move for approval.
We have a motion and a second to approve agenda item 6A, resolution number 2026-11. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 7A, staff updates. Report on sales tax data from HDL companies.
So this is some very, very, very good news for the EDC board and for the city as a whole. So in December of 2025, the EDC entered into an agreement with HDL companies for the purpose of receiving detailed sales tax analyses and recovery, i.e. they would work not only to get us extensive reporting about our sales tax, but also seek recovery in terms of sales tax that should have been paid to the city but was not paid, or amounts that were paid incorrectly and getting those corrected. Specifically, HDL provides sales tax reporting that illustrates monthly payment details, variance analysis, top employers, industry trends, and more. The STAR Summary report, which is available in front of you today, provides a sales tax snapshot summarizing this information. In the report, data is provided from fiscal year 2021 to present day. It went through March 31st of this year, offering sales tax net payment trends, monthly comparisons, year-over-year percentage changes, and other data sets. So as you look at the report in front of you, you should notice some very awesome numbers very quickly. So when you look at our sales tax net payments between fiscal 25 and fiscal 26, that YOY percent change indicates the amount of money that was made in October of 25 versus October of fiscal 26, and how much that has increased. So as you can see, the year-over-year change for October through March are all positive, with the largest being 20%. So put another way, we earned 20% more sales tax in October 26 than we did in, November 26 than we did in November 2025. So that's a big deal. That's huge in terms of being able to forecast our EDC and sales tax revenue coming in. It gives us a much better picture of what to budget for and what to anticipate. I do want to mention one thing. There is a graph on the first page that has a big red line underneath it. And there's another one that has a big green line in August of 24. That is not a bad thing. So the August of 2024 means that there was a sales tax recovery that happened based on a state level audit. So the city received much, much more in sales tax revenue that month than it would have been on track to otherwise. So when you see this August of 2025, it is significantly lower because it didn't include that big bump from that recovery. So that was a sales tax recovery that was done following a state level audit on a specific partner that had not paid all of the sales tax that they needed to. So that's why the big green bar is there. And that's why the red bar is at the corresponding month the next year, because we didn't have a recovery the next year. We would have gotten what would be a normal on-trend
Right.
amount of sales tax.
Are we at liberty to know what company that was?
That's privileged information.
Okay,
There are pages of this report that are not for public consumption.
okay. In the top 10 taxpayers,
Yes.
am I getting ahead of myself, or are you gonna get to that?
No, please.
Oh, the top 10 taxpayers, Blanchard, 1 through 10, all the way to Dale. We don't have any percent totals of those top 10. Do we have that information?
We can get that for you. So the top 10 companies represent 44.2% of the overall tax that we get,
Right.
followed by the other large companies there, 54, and then it breaks down from there. I will look further into the more detailed reporting to see if I can get specific percentages for each one. But again, we get confidential data from HDL, which helps us follow specific amounts made from each company. A lot of that is confidential data that we're not allowed to release. So I will look at it, and if it's something I can provide, I will.
I would assume that percentages would not necessarily be, confidential as a part of a whole, right? We're just not looking for actual numbers, but if Blanchard is 20% of our tax base or something like that.
Yep. I will look into it.
Yes, I'm just not FYI, I just wanted to get the percentages, not necessarily the dollar amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
And further to that issue, I wonder, the use of the term confidential, I can understand why certain information might not be publicly disseminated, but I would think that elected officials, the leadership of the city would have access to that information. While it would not be publicly disseminated, I would think, just again, thinking out loud, the mayor and city commission ought to be able to know that. But
We have to, because our CFO has to get that information to
okay.
help with budgets and revenues and things, so it might not be readily available by the means in which Kristen is getting it, but one way or another, it comes to us. And just for the record, Blanchard Refining is the company that owns Marathon, for those who may or not know.
Okay, thank you for that.
So there's a lot of good data to dig into here. Again, in that sales tax net payments trend there on the top right, you can see that big spike in August of '24. But generally speaking, you see that red line continuing at a semi-regular pace. There's another graphic I really want to call your attention to. This is on the second page, and it looks at monthly sales tax net payments going back to March 21 all the way up to March of 26. And you can see that monthly we used to generate just under $2 million in sales tax revenue. Now we are just under $3 million per month in sales tax revenue. And you can see that that line has steadily increased over time. So that's a good stat as well. We will continue to pull these reports for this group. I'd like to be able to present them to you every time we have a meeting. The only reason the data isn't up to today is because they do monthly data drops. So at the end of April will be available. At the end of May will be available.
Is there anything, or have I missed it, where not only does HDL, as you stated, do sales tax revenue reports, but they do sales tax recovery? Is there any stat here that tells us how much they recovered from, what you mentioned, mistakenly paid or underpaid taxes?
So we were not in contract with HDL until December. So
Okay.
to my knowledge, they've not found anything of that nature at this time.
Okay.
The one that was noted on the front page, the August 24, that was done by a state audit.
Okay.
Did we have someone that we were in contract with prior to HDL?
Not for this service, no, sir.
I wonder too, that there was a change in the law at one point wherein online sales were not taxed locally. And
That's
it'd be
correct.
interesting to know when that change took effect and to see, I see Amazon on here. I would surmise that part of this trending upwards is correlative to the fact that now if you purchase something on Amazon, you live in the city of Texas City, the sales tax is generated for the city. It'd be interesting to know. I would just guess that that's that's been had a positive effect on every community.
Absolutely.
So just curious about that.
We do know from our relationship with Retail Strategies, which is a group we work with for retail recruitment, that 18% of all purchases for anything, for household items, for gas, for clothes, for anything, are done online. So it's
18%.
it's not nothing,
And it's increasing probably more and more.
probably. So.
I know several years ago, my former law partner was mayor of Kemah, and he said each and every month, the Super Walmart, sales tax generated by the Super Walmart in Kemah far exceeded the entire Kemah Boardwalk in sales tax every single month. That's the power of retail. So
According to a quick online search, it was 2018. There's a Supreme Court case of Wayfair, who does online purchases like Amazon. It resulted in online taxes being disseminated to cities. Being purchased.
I didn't realize that far back.
Yeah, I thought it was 19 issues.
20.
Excellent.
That may vary per state, but that was a landmark decision that started the dominoes falling. Yeah.
Does this group have any other questions for me about this report?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate it.
And I think this is money well spent. This is great information. Okay, anything else in terms of staff reports or anything?
Yes. Yes. So per our last meeting, I did put the heat on CoStar, and we did get our comps and analytics back. So I will do a full presentation allowing for this, as well as to Mr. Diedel's point, the tax and sale value per the appraisal district. But I did want to let this group know that when they ran our comps, which are comparing pricing for land that was sold within the city over the last 3 years compared to other cities. When they ran that both for the Texas City Lamarck area as well as a greater chunk in Galveston County, both of those comps came back that our sale price per square foot sits right at $2 per square foot. So there's a lot more detail in this report. I didn't want to get too in the weeds. I basically just wanted to let y'all know that we have the initial research. I'd like to present more about what this means in terms of different types of property when we have more time. I really just wanted to let y'all know that we have this now and we'll continue to work on it.
Thank you. You said $2 per square foot, that's the going rate to sell or to purchase or what?
To sell.
And that's, is that dependent upon the type of land, or does it vary, like versus industrial land, industrial business district versus prime real estate for home building and commercial property?
So interestingly enough, looking at the different types of property sales that they had, it covered different types of commercial, it covered mixed use, it covered industrial, it covered light industrial. There wasn't that big of a variance. That's one of the things I really want to dig deeper with y'all on when we do a full presentation, is to show kind of what that looks like and how it looks in other communities that look like ours.
Got it.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay. Since nothing else in terms of staff reports or agenda item number 7, as always, we have an agenda item like to be added for future meetings. Please let us know. And in the absence of a motion otherwise, we stand adjourned. Time is, what time is it? 4:21? 4:21. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you.